How long gone?
How long gone?
Coming to you live from beautiful Minneapolis, Minnesota. The view here from the 25th floor. I'm looking at Target Field.
Do you mind that I opened the shears? I hit the shears open button.
No, I don't mind.
Because these windows are mirror, so they can't see you in here doing your thing.
Oh, they can't?
Unless they have special technology.
My ops do,
Your
usually,
ops do.
But I like, good to know this.
Yeah, some people in the military have night vision, and they have black vision.
Yeah, black vision is for my ops
so you can
only.
see the whitest guy. It's the opposite.
It is very, very advanced technology. It really hasn't made its way
Scanning
outward.
for honkies.
Outward.
Yeah, I think this whole episode, we're going to just look out the window together like two straight guys going like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Target Field right there.
We got a view of the Mississippi River. It's
and that's where the Twins play.
It is where the Twins
They're in
play.
Seattle right now. I looked at the schedule. I was like, damn, am I going to go see a Tween game?
We could have probably gotten some tickets from the. I forget.
Well, they're not playing in. They're in a different state. So
no, I understand. I'm saying if they were
they'll
here.
be back for the 4th if you want to extend.
Oh, that'd be nice. I mean, fireworks at the baseball stadium on July 4th. Is there
It'll
anything
feel
more?
like Coldplay.
Is there anything more? Yeah. So
with Lil Wheelie on guitar.
the.
I felt bad seeing him in the wheelchair. It ruined the song for me.
Oh no, I thought it was pretty inspiring, to be honest.
Okay, so we're talking about Michael J. Fox, Johnny B. Good, Go Johnny Go Go Go, strumming a guitar. I don't know if the sound boy had him turned up.
He looked. I mean, even if the sound boy didn't have him turned up, he looked like he was actually playing. Like he knew what he was
doing. He's
doing.
a real guitar player. He's been playing guitar since we were in diapers.
I didn't know that.
Maybe before we were born.
I didn't know that about
You're
Michael
not a
J.
movie
Fox.
buff, so I don't blame you.
Well, I watched him in that TV show that he was in that I loved, where he was like Family Ties.
Family Ties.
He
Well,
was
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
Alex P. Keaton.
TV, you have eyes on that.
Yeah, sure.
Cinema, you're like Back to the Future. What's that?
David Cho seemed offended that I hadn't seen Back to the Future. I'm like, why the fuck would I watch Back to the Future?
It's like when you
Now,
tell people
especially.
that you've never seen Star Wars, and they're like, "Any?"
That's a point of pride.
I know, it's cool.
That's a point of pride.
But so Coldplay played "Fix You" to headline Glastonbury because it happens quarterly, like our presidential debates.
Yeah.
Coldplay plays "Fix You," and it's the song of the season. It's this amazing, uplifting moment. My favorite era is when he had the light bulb hanging from the rope cord, and he would swing it around like FK Twigs.
Which is weird because U2 had something similar to that at some point, which feels like somebody stole it from somebody. But it's a pretty great song. I just the clothes that
It's a perfect song.
The clothes that Coldplay wears on stage are distractingly weird, and I've thought about this a lot. I really want to get to the bottom of it because it's clearly custom made. And it's just rags with patches, lots of patches.
I think they have a creative director or a fashion wardrobe stylist person that every year or every tour album cycle, they have a full couture 50-piece collection.
Definitely.
And they don't have any say in it. They're just like, that's good. Yeah.
I mean,
whatever.
Chris Martin isn't known for his style off camera or off stage either. He kind of wears like a baby tee and 7 jeans.
But that's a style.
But he's a stick man.
That's
I mean,
a style. He's got 50 bracelets, baby tee. What kind of jeans?
7 jeans.
7 jeans, not painted on, but not.
Yeah,
they're not baggy. They're not tight. But I think the worst era was maybe like 5 to 7 years ago, where they had. It was like stuffed animal play, like Murakami things like stitched onto all their things.
I remember that.
That was the as they turned 47 years old and, got their $400 million in the bank.
I feel bad for like the bass player has a clothing brand that's surprisingly not bad. Like he has pretty good taste.
Does it
and
have
like
a
he
name?
knows people. He's like around, like people know him. And I feel bad for him because he's like
meant to turn up at PT.
He's like, all right, I guess I'll wear this fake RAF bomber with 8 patches on it because I'm getting paid $1 million. I just feel bad for like the drummer who's like, God damn it, whatever.
Can I just go shirtless like Travis?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dude, I saw a video of Travis. He has a drum pad. What are those little travel rubber drum pads?
Kobe got me one of those for a birthday gift.
He has he hired a professional carpentress or someone
I saw
to
this.
build a rig onto his treadmill so he could drum while running. And I was like, what do you get the guy who has everything, Chris Black?
I'm not. If somebody gave me a Woodway with a custom drum pad so I can practice my paradiddles,
Pearl X Woodway. Drumline ass.
That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, but I guess maybe it's actually useful because he's got to work on his breath, you know? So it kind of, I guess it makes sense.
He ain't getting any younger. And you know, Courtney's fat ass is making him eat that 11 p.m. Jones on Third Cobb extra dressing.
No, she's making him eat late night, like Crossroads bad boy vegan food, which is worse, I would say.
He's like, I can't have any more beignets, babe. I can't have any more tahini beignets. But he's known for his abs. He has so many Cadillac tattoos on the rib.
I spilled tahini on my Dag Nasty shirt. It's my favorite one.
Babe. This shirt was $5,800 and I did not get ripped off by that.
God damn it. You know I love Rancid.
No, I want to put Rancid on the end of this episode. So yeah, we were watching Michael J. Fox, who is, you know, he's a little bit of our older than our generation, and you know he's a little more Gen X. We're elder millennial, so he's not like a peer for us.
I think he's more of a boomer.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Gen X, boomer, same thing, right? But watching him out there, I mean, when he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm and he had the Parkinson's and he would do the jokes and stuff, like I liked that. But
I didn't see that.
Watching him rock out, I don't know. Like, it made me feel odd. It made me feel like Coldplay is not a band and it's just like a product.
I think they're actually friends with him, probably.
I'm sure. I'm sure they raised a lot of funds for each other.
That's what I mean. But I liked it. It felt real to me. Whereas, like, I'd rather that than like, all right, here comes Dua Lipa.
Did it feel triumphant? Shut the fuck up.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, nothing's dustier than bringing out Kevin Parker from
That's not true.
Bro, that dude looked like shit.
He looked okay.
Bro, no, he didn't. He was wearing La Enfants Day Rich Supreme, like that awful brand logo tee.
Les Enfants.
His hair looked bad. He looked like he had put on 30. He'd been eating kangaroo. He looked bad, dude.
He can't put the kangaroo pack down.
He can't put the pack down. He looked bad. But
he's had too many sausage rolls.
But I said this to you. I was like, I didn't know that like that song, that Tame Impala song, the hit, feels very like our generation. And Dua Lipa is not our generation, really, you know?
That is true.
So but I guess that now is her.
Yeah, it's like when, you know, speaking of boomers, when you talk to some guy and they're like, you guys listen to Jimi Hendrix now? I used to listen to them when I was your age.
No, I mean like, yes, that, but I also just feel like there's that's like nostalgic for her, I guess is what I'm saying.
Future nostalgia.
And we're not nostalgic for Tame Impala.
It's easy to say TikTok, but that song has
sure.
You know, touching 2 billion streams on Spotify because of TikTok.
Industry plant, relax. We don't talk about streaming numbers here. That's where I draw the line. Daily double.
I was doing my research because it's a Virgo thing. You wouldn't get it. You would get it. You're also Virgo. As soon as it left my lips. But I think that song, that Tame Impala song, which you don't really hear on the radio.
Yeah.
You'd never seen the music video for it. It has more streams than songs that have been destroyed on the radio. Run ragged. That like earworms that are impregnated in everyone's mind will have 1 billion more streams than that. And I think it's just groovy, man.
Well, you're a Tame Impala apologist. Tame Impala's W Hotel music. It wasn't always, but it is now, and that's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? That's not their fault.
I think you're not wrong, but it is also. I mean, it sounds lame saying it, but I mean, it's just well produced.
Yeah, no,
musically,
it's good. He's like a genius.
He's a very good songwriter. The music is. Like you said, it's
I've never listened to it. Like I know it from hearing it around, and
when
I know
that
the song.
album first came out, like the summer that album came out,
huge.
But like I said, no radio, no anything, no video.
But this is why I use Apple Music because I don't have to look at numbers. That's one of the reasons I don't use Spotify. I don't.
But you love looking at numbers.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Really?
I don't care about I like charts
on the Delta app where there's a thing that says million miler.
Okay.
Is there a number on there that you might have a obtuse?
I am going to. Yes, I'm going to reach 1 million miles. Maybe this month.
And you would not know that unless you looked at the numbers.
Well, it's right in my face. No, but I guess I just mean that it's kind of like with charts to me seem like old school and that's part of the conversation. Streaming numbers, I'm just this just changes every day. You know what I mean? It's why? How am I going to keep up with this? What's the point? Whereas the chart comes out once a week. I get it. My updates on Twitter. I see that Hosier is absolutely crushing it.
Yeah,
and I keep it going.
Hosier got another one.
I don't need to know that. Well, how many actual streams did this get? Because it makes a big difference.
Well, now I know why you don't like Scott Galloway so much. He's a big chart junkie. Loves the chart. But I think that scientifically speaking, you're saying you're frustrated. You don't like these numbers because there's not enough data. There's not enough time spent. But I'm saying I want to see numbers 10 years out, 5 years out. That's where you get a real broad spectrum.
No, I agree. I agree.
This is actually interesting information.
I just don't care. I just don't like, and this sounds odd coming from me, but I don't really like when music is competitive or does that make sense? When they pit people against each other or rap bat, that's not Versus was so stupid to me because I was all of this is good, guys. How are you going to tell me this one's better? It's stupid. And it's similar to me in that way. Where I'm if it's good, it's good. I don't really need to know if it's better. Is Jeezy better than T.I.? Of course. Do I need to know that from watching them play songs in Thrones on a stage? No.
Well, like we were talking about with the debate on the last episode, every once in a while you want to tune in because damn, maybe T.I. will get him on this one.
Sure. I know.
And also, for the record, I'm not going to vote for Trump. Some people were asking me that on Instagram.
Oh, that's a nice change.
They're like, Jeans, please don't vote for Trump. And I said, don't worry, I'm not going to vote for Trump.
No one's ever told me not to vote for Trump. So that's a victory.
Because they know.
There's no changing my mind.
You're like, sis,
we can't turn this guy.
I'm not even registered, honey. So you don't like attaching competition and commerce to art.
I really don't.
But sports, yes.
I mean, sports, the only point is competition.
But what about where art and sport combine? Skateboarding.
No real skatehead is I did Street League this year. You do it for the bread, but it's corny.
X Games, dumb, bad, pointless. But then I think if we have a skate jam, there'll be trick of the day. That's kind of nice.
Tampa Am is there's legend. I guess that contests are part of skateboarding and they always have been. But I think that I don't know if skateboarding needs to be in the Olympics.
Definitely
it somehow
not.
Makes it extremely less cool, and it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, and now because skateboarding is in the Olympics, the best skaters in the world in the eyes of the Olympics are dorky 9-year-olds.
Yeah, they're not. It's literally guys that are I didn't think skateboarders could be this uncool. It's not even my OG Scheckler. It's
up until Bob Burnquist, I didn't know people could be this lame.
Don't talk about Bob like that. He put Brazil on his shoulders.
Fuck Bob. Bob knows what he did. He ain't really putting it down for the favelas.
I didn't know you had beef with Bob.
Yeah, I DJ'd a X Games one time and he gave me attitude and I was like, fuck you, Bob Burnquist, vert ass.
Yeah, vert, he's a vert loser. There's no question there. Loser used to be a real genre. I feel now you have to be really well-rounded. Sure. But vert loser, the 12-foot, all I do is spin around in circles. If you ask me to 50-50 a curb, it's going to be annoying for me.
He doesn't skate unless he has a helmet on.
Yeah.
He's got Mountain Dew sunglasses.
That's the other thing. X Games, they don't. Do they wear helmets? Only vert, I guess. I think only vert.
Probably only vert.
But there's also Street League now, which is a consistent on ESPN monster. There's a lot of money in it, I guess. And I like guys to make money.
It's just so boring to watch, man.
I know. I can watch a Quarter Snacks top 10 countdown
Yeah.
every week
All day.
and that's much more interesting to me than a street league competition.
Yeah, and it has been tough traveling around this past week because the X Games have been going on, and I just haven't been able to park myself in front of the boob tube.
Oh no, you're missing it?
I've been having to catch it in bits and pieces, just like like do at Glasto.
I'm just checking ESPN.com like kind of consistently.
It's on auto refresh.
I got my app and stuff, so I make it easy for myself. But yeah, I'm kind of constantly checking.
And we got the real Olympics happening too, the qualifiers.
Yeah, it's the Olympics are so funny because some people really like it, and all I can think about is how I would say 50 to 60% of it are people that are going to be broke and can't make a living doing the thing they've committed their life to.
90%,
and I can't. You could be the best sprinter in the world, and you're never going to make any money like that. And that's the top. That's
unless you know how to bounce on dick. Sorry. Or whatever that may mean to you.
Okay, that was just a metaphor, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry, I got confused.
That's
there.
a metaphor to borrow a word from Galloway. To find a mate.
To find a mate. I mean, I've been to the Olympics before because it was in Atlanta when I was a kid, and it's pretty cool to go for sure, especially if you're 13 and it's like handball. But that's the thing about going to the Olympics. It's fun to see the sports that you've never seen live before because it's like it's not a thing.
When you finally saw the 140 meters IRL.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
It's the handball team. They only do this professionally in Germany. I've never seen this.
Yeah, it was so boring. I started watching F1.
I've watched the F1 reality show, which I liked for a little while, and then I was like, oh, it's the same thing over and over. Like, this driver's not doing so well. Are we going to lose our sponsor? Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's every TV show, unfortunately. Okay, we're in Minnesota. We were in Philly, the last city, right?
Yeah.
And we had a great show in Philly. Great show in Washington, D.C., That was probably our favorite of the run. We talked about that. Philly, almost as good. I like that Philly is very vocal.
They're chatty.
They're chatty.
During and after, unfortunately.
During and after, they are chatty. Is Philly known as a talking town?
I think it's known as a drunk town, and those two things like lead to each other. But Johnny Brenda's is one of the best venues in the world. It's so sick. I really like it.
It makes you feel special being in there. In that weird little room. But yeah, usually at the end of the show, some people will yell a couple questions, and we got yells before 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
And there's that woman that was talking about the twin.
There was a woman who was a twin that for some reason felt the need to share how ugly and loser the twin was, that she was the better twin.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm happy for you, but unless I can do a side by side, this is pointless.
That's true. You're just running that twin
But
mouth.
it went on to the point where I'm like, sis, are you good?
I mean, for the name of entertainment, I liked it.
Sure, of course. Same.
What a magnificent specimen.
I appreciated it wholeheartedly.
And it's so interesting knowing that she's listening to this right now and how much that's affecting what we're saying.
That's right.
And then when I say that to you, you say this.
No, I mean, it's good for business, but it's a strange thing to share. But maybe she'd say that shit to her twin's face. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Philly's fucking crazy, man.
Philly's crazy. I mean, you made a great Yingling joke that on stage.
I forgot about Yingling.
I forgot to make my main. The train station there that goes to like the nice neighborhood is called the Main Line.
Interesting.
So like a hot chick would be like a main line. You know what I mean?
Oh.
There's like
okay.
I think that's how it works.
Okay.
But we rushed over to get
to Pizzeria Bedia.
Bro, that shit really smacks.
I had a pizza. I got to pull up.
What was that? You ordered it, and then I unfortunately did eat half of it because I liked it so much.
You're a scallion lover.
I didn't know I was a scallion lover.
Yeah, it was a pizza with green tomatoes, charred scallion, cream, mozzarellas, plural, black pepper, and Galen's Reserve. Do you know what Galen's Reserve is? I know you don't know.
I'm gonna say olive oil. Is my guess.
Galen's Reserve is a cheese.
Cheese. Okay. That was my second guess.
It's a masterpiece of flavor and texture, actually. Galen's Reserve. It's a Gouda.
Okay.
Typically, I think that green tomatoes are an abomination.
Unless they're fried.
Even then.
No, fried green tomato smacks in the right place.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna eat it in Minnesota.
What about a green strawberry on your fucking bitch ass crudo? Sorry, stir crazy.
No, I don't. I don't like fruit mixed with stuff.
There's like people like green tomatoes, green strawberries because it's like a bitter.
It's just a different flavor.
Yeah, it's unripe. It's bitter. It's acidic in a different way. It's undeveloped in a different way. And to me, it feels like a disrespect to the life.
There was a place somewhere
it's like veal
where I would get fried green tomatoes, and they were so good, and I cannot remember where it was right now. But I don't
some kind of country kitchen.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, a fried green tomato sandwich is good. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you fucking batter and fry truly anything, and it's pretty fucking good.
No, sure, of course. But I don't know what other time I would have a green tomato. Like in a salad? Like where else are they being used? I've never...
Pickled?
I've literally never experienced it.
But the way the Bedia worked it, man. I don't know. I think because they're thinly sliced, there's this, like the acidity was all balanced. If you're in Philly or going to be there, you should get the number 5. It's interesting.
Yeah, it was really good.
Typically, I don't... Pizza is like restaurants for me now, where we were talking about in the last episode how inconsistency is so hard to beat, so we all just go to Houston's and we're happy with it. And as I'll get a burger at the restaurant and it's going to be fine. I'm not going to try the experimental special on the menu. I'm like that with pizza now. I'm just like margarita or pepperoni.
I've always been like that.
Margarita or pepperoni.
Always been like that.
Because it's too risky getting the 7th pizza on the menu that has like, a candied something and a gorgonzola cream or...
I wanted to tell you...
salmon.
That I learned something about the Nice Guy.
Okay.
Started by...
Nice Guy is a restaurant in Los Angeles that's a nightclub where Chris ordered a salmon Caesar salad to his hotel room via DoorDash, just for context.
Somebody's like, well, you know why the food's pretty good. And I was like, no, I don't. It's it's a high-ranking former Hillstone person who opened that's who, and I'm like, God, that makes so much sense.
The way you said that sounded like when I'm watching the news and like a Russian oligarch dies, like a high-ranking official high up in the Hillstone organization.
But I was like, God, that makes so much sense.
Was there any crossover? Was there a Ding's chicken sandwich?
No. I don't know. I think he left. I mean, I think I know. But I was like, that makes...
I was hoping for a couple dog whistles or, Easter eggs on the menu.
Maybe there are, and
like a spinach and onion dip.
I couldn't hear them.
Spinach and onion dip? Is that what it's called?
Spinach artichoke.
Spinach artichoke. My dumbass.
That's crazy that you fucked that up.
And my brain's kind of fucked up right now because I had been so sleep deprived, and now all I got is sleep now that I'm in sleepy Minnesota, even though today is Pride Day, right?
It's lit out there. It's it's beautiful. The weather's amazing. There's a parade with, a big Target sponsorship where people that work at Target pretend to be okay with gay people.
Yeah, LGBTQ, they don't play about that here in Minneapolis. Like in other cities, they'll have the thing. They'll have like the postcard at the cash register at the beginning of the month. By the end of the month, maybe we lost it. Maybe we spilled some matcha on it. The Pride sticky sticker on the glass window starting to yellow.
It's peeling off.
Peeling a little bit, but here it's loud and proud, banging on my chest.
I didn't know Minneapolis St. Paul had such a gay population.
Even the straight people are gay here. That's why.
They can't tell anybody though. That's the thing.
The only straight people in Minneapolis right now technically are in this hotel right now. And it's not us. I'm talking about all the Republicans who check in.
This is the hotel where like a Republican guy pulls up in his very expensive BMW and he's wearing Givenchy slides and off-white, and he has the Louis duffel, and his wife is wearing Dunks and like a Cartier love bracelet and a Capital trucker hat.
Spikes coming out of the toe box.
But they're like pretty young, but somehow look older than us. And they're like at the pool drinking during the day. But where do these people, if Minneapolis is the big city you go to for the weekend, where do you live? in the outskirts in the woods of Minnesota.
Like this is like the Branson, Missouri.
But if you live in Madison, Wisconsin, are you coming here for the weekend because it's more turned up?
Maybe. I'm over here about to go on Google Maps and start zooming out.
Yeah, you got. I honestly do not know. The crowd at this hotel is absolutely insane.
Yeah, like you described it pretty well, the type of person, because you look at him and you're like, oh, this person is a football player, a basketball player, a professional athlete. For them to look this bad and to be this rich, but then they're short, not super. They don't look trained.
No, they took over
they're currently untrained.
They took over their family's kind of construction business, and it's going quite well.
Okay, it could be either of the Dakotas.
Really?
Because North Dakota and South Dakota,
we're right here.
We butt up against those. And
okay, that makes a little more sense because you can order Off-White on Mr. Porter in the Dakotas.
Of course. We got Iowa.
Iowa's a big one.
And Wisconsin. I don't know if people are going to bop down from Winnipeg, maybe.
Oh, they're definitely bopping down from Winnipeg. There's, Canada just doesn't have everything that we have.
It's the big show.
It's this, yes. Minneapolis, St. Paul is the big show if you live in Winnipeg.
So when we got in from the airport, we had a rough flight, not the best. You were next to people that were eating the entire flight.
Oh man,
I saw a PSA video. I think it may be due to the algorithm of you speaking it into the universe. But it was like a PSA for like what types of foods you can and can't or shouldn't eat.
These stinky losers popped open the bag of beef jerky, which is the number one worst, I think, smelling airport. It's like packaged snack you can buy at the airport. Exactly.
Shelf stable snack.
And it was a full bag. So what they would do is
you say full like Costco, like 16 ounces?
No. It was artisanal, of course. But I just mean they would have a few. The smell would waft into my nose. Close it, open it, close it, open it.
They're milking the jerky for the entire 2.5 hour flight.
They milked the jerky for 2 hours, and I was like,
she milked on my jerky till I land the plane.
And then they had like a big bag from Wawa and like giant Starbucks coffees, and just it was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I eat out of boredom on the airplane, and sometimes for like entertainment. Like it's nice to have I'm watching something I like, taking a sip of a thing, eating a thing, and then they all complement each other.
That's why America's fat. We know.
But to do it nonstop, wheels up to wheels down with gnarly shit. I'm just grateful that I'm not like that.
Me too. But I think that means that if you're like that, you're always like that, which is even more staggering.
It's an always on feature.
Yeah, you're not doing that on the plane especially you're doing that because this is how you live.
I get it how I live.
But yeah, it was a rough flight, but I'm fine. We both watched Anthony Bourdain, coincidentally. And we talked about it a lot. Because I watched the Boston episode because I was feeling weird, where he goes to Southie and basically gets his friend paid to take him to bars is kind of the vibe. And you think about this a lot, or you have, and we've talked about it, but wow, Anthony Bourdain is deeply uncool. And I thought different, and you thought different, and now with a little time and a little age, it's like this guy was corny as hell.
He hasn't, at least his video content has not.
The books
aged
are good.
well.
The books are good. I like the books.
I guess as a writer, it's more tolerable.
I mean, it's just a different, it's a different thing.
But it begs the question: when's the last time you read one of his books?
I mean, I'm not going to reread an Anthony Bourdain book.
I know, but
it wasn't.
But what if you 10 years later you pick up Kenshin Kampf and you're like, oh brother?
I feel like actually Kenshin Kampf. No, Mein Kampf. Just to be clear.
Kenshin Kampf.
Kenshin Kampf is probably his best thing.
Yeah.
Like it's probably the thing he should be remembered for the most.
It's where a nation learned what day to eat seafood at a restaurant.
Yeah, but I honestly think that's his best work. And the TV show, it's hard for that to age as well.
You give me lip, you'll be peeling potatoes in the back.
Yeah.
The video, I think when I watch it, I think he started out I don't know. I see a lot of similarities with us, not comparing us to him, but where it's like, let's just hit record and
Sure, of
fuck
course.
around and see what happens. And that's been a basis of a lot of TV shows of our lifetime, Jackass and all that shit. And then when you get a lot of success pretty quickly for just doing your thing, then you go on autopilot, you start drinking your own Kool-Aid, and then they start asking for more episodes and more shit and more everything. And you can just kind of see it in their eyes where they turn it on, they turn it off.
Sure.
And
I mean, but
not
that's part of being successful, I think.
It is, but it made me feel bad for him that he was so overworked.
Oh, I don't feel bad for him at all. He was rich. Like, I don't give a fuck. He chose to do this. It's not like he was under duress from the Food Network.
But to borrow a food pun, it's like this duck who's being force-fed to food to make foie gras. He's eating. All he wants to do is eat, and he's the happiest duck.
I
in
like
town.
what you tried to do here. But
I'm saying
no.
at a certain point, the F1 car has to come in, and we got to change the tires and the tranny, or else
I don't think
the whole
he was
thing's gonna
working as
explode.
hard as you think he was. I think he was on a regular television schedule.
Yeah, but that
Like-
involved traveling the world constantly, corporate thingies, book tours.
I just don't.
But he had the pressure. It's like, hey, you're rich as fuck. You're going to make a bunch of money, but also we need another book. We need the other TV show idea.
Yeah.
We need to do this.
That's how it
tour.
works. That's what I'm saying. Like, you sign up for that, and then you're on the hamster wheel. You can get off at any time.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not as easy to get off of the hamster wheel
Of course.
the longer you've been doing it. And some wheels are bigger than others. And he's a smart guy. You could see at the beginning, he was like, I'm not going to be that kind of person. I'm not going to turn into that kind of person. And then by the end, the whole system had ground him into a fine paste, and he had no control. He had no more will anymore. And he was just on mental autopilot.
I think you're giving him a lot of credit here.
But
I think he was
it's
like a
how
rich
much
guy
money
who
do
drank
you need?
as much as you can possibly get in your lifetime if you're that kind of person. I'm not saying that's how people should be, but like, he could have stopped at any point and probably been fine for the rest of his life.
Of course,
and write
he
a
could
book
have,
every 5 years. That's on
but he
him.
had too much pressure influencing him.
But that's him. You can't succumb to that. That's on you.
I know.
Like, I don't care how many people tell me to do
No,
something.
obviously that's on
If
him.
I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it's like,
Also, that shit is gnarly for sure, that kind of filming, but it's also like he wasn't slumming it. It was just fine.
he was not slumming it.
But you know what? It's bad. The show gets. I guess when the show got into when it became like the Boston episode where they like have this like little theme and they try to make it feel like a noir like film. I'm like, bro, this is corny. Like, all that shit is corny, and it became more and more and more of that shit.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm gonna watch more of it.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch more of it as a case study. But when he first started out, he would talk shit on like Guy Fieri and Emerald all the time. He was like the anti that guy.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he had been turned into that same person.
Yeah.
He was the same thing as Guy Fieri.
He's gargling Jose Andres' nuts on TV.
He's a tatted up white boy,
Yeah.
multi-hundred millionaire who gets paid to have a handful of catchphrases and reactions when a chef gives you a piece of food.
Yeah.
And some people say bam, and some people say that's so money, this tastes redonkulous, and then some people say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
shrimp heads are the best.
No, it's
if you're not eating the brains of every animal, you're a fucking pussy.
he ruined a lot of people. He was the archetype for a lot of people, and that's bad.
But I watch it, and I'm watching that, and whenever I listen to a pod or watch or whatever, or a DJ, I'll be like, I could do that. But when it was with him, he was like the one where I was like, damn, he's like he's the golden. He was like the DJ AM where everyone was like, okay, I can't
he's
do
the
that.
guy. Yeah.
Like you have a superhuman thing to you, and then when you watch the game tape going back, you're like,
I like that.
maybe I
because
can't do that.
I've never ever thought he had that. I think he was a guy who had producers, and he got on a plane. They told him what to say. He added his little flair to it, and then it was on TV.
Yeah, but cool people liked him. Children liked him. Older
Yeah, that's
people
true.
liked
That's
him.
true.
My
That's true.
mom fucks with him. Carolyn's mom has like a huge crush on him. Like
Yeah, of course. But that doesn't.
he's like Pierce Brosnan with the walk. Like he had a special like men and women from all ages wanted to be him, be with him,
Yeah, sure.
fuck him. You know, he had this magnetism to him
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how you make it on TV.
that Bobby Flay did not have.
Well, Bobby Flay might have made more money on
At a
TV than
certain
him,
time.
to be honest.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, if we're going bag for bag,
We're only going
But
back
not
for
hoe
back
for
here.
hoe.
No, definitely
Come
not.
on.
Definitely not. I mean, he loved Ho so much he died for one. You know, that's different. Flay's still kicking.
yeah,
Flay's still on TV.
he's still on TV. The fucking Mark Wahlberg of Salsa Verde. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make our own masa today.
That's really funny.
when we got out of the car, the airport, and got into the taxi, we had this fucking taxi driver where I just remembered it. We got off the freeway and we're downtown Minneapolis. Perfect day, beautiful weather. Roll the windows down, and I'm doing the road trip thing where my arm is going up and down out the window. You know, it's an empty street. We're going 32 miles an hour.
Could not have been emptier. We
was
were the
barren.
only car on the
It
street.
looked like a Christopher Nolan set.
Yes, exactly.
During down, we had road closures going on, and the guy hadn't said anything to us really. We were just chilling, and he goes, "Put your arm back in the car. We're not in middle school."
And you did it instinctually, and then you were like, "Wait a second, I'm paying for this."
Bitch, I'm paying for you. I could stick my arm out a little bit if I want
That
to.
was
if
really
it's a
funny,
safe
actually.
street.
He laughed too. He knew it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our job is when we go to a city on tour, we try out some bits with our driver.
I mean, that was
just
funny.
to see.
That was
When
fun.
we were in the car and I was looking at that menu for that restaurant, all I did was read a menu, and the driver had snot coming out.
Well,
the
I
nose.
mean, I did too. Jason read a menu from a restaurant here that we were looking into going to possibly, and
I'm gonna find it.
several words that I had never heard before, which doesn't happen to me that much.
Yeah, on theme with FX is the Bear on Hulu. There's a scene where Joel McHale is teaching Carmi how to make this one dish. It's like a piece of fish with some fennel and blood orange and all that shit. And he writes subtract on a piece of the masking tape and sticks it on the table. You know, you gotta distill it, subtract it, remove. You have too much shit going on. Blah blah blah. This menu may have too much going on, and it's called Boucheron. I've heard it's a very fancy, nice restaurant. If somebody who works there is probably going to end up hearing this. Let's see here. I'm going to go lamb chop, plum, hoisin, glazed meatloaf, pea and spring onion ragu, lamb jus. Wait, that one's not very good.
Hold on,
Where's the good one?
Jus is just juice, right?
Jus, yes.
Yeah, no.
It's a reduction of the meat
okay.
juices. Grilled sunchokes,
Oh, yeah.
frike porridge, dandelion kimchi, carrots with a wheatgrass sauce for $32.
And as I said to you, wheatgrass is a shot, not a sauce. I don't know how that's
Perhaps.
I mean, I do love the flavor of wheatgrass, but most people don't.
It's something that you do not for pleasure.
Yeah, it's medicinal.
Yeah, the pain is almost, you want it to be there. Okay, curried rabbit ragu, vadovon pappardelle, peas, carrots, and Thai basil, pear ginger puree, turnip green, bone marrow. There's just so much going on, and I don't know if this happens in LA or New York anymore. But maybe this is good. I still need to go and give it a try.
I mean, it's very possible it's good. When I look at something like that, the first thing I do is decide I don't want to go to that restaurant.
Because you go and you're like, okay, the asparagus is still in season. I want it perfectly, steamed or blanched or grilled, still a little fresh, a little lemon, a little butter, olive oil, salt. That's about it, kind of thing. there's asparagus, salsa verde, avocado hollandaise, ramps, and fermented cranberries.
Yeah, I don't keep your fermented cranberries to yourself, Chief. I like cranberries. I'm pro cranberry, but
Does the deviled egg need smoked scallops? I don't know.
This is the I think
now I have to go to this place is the fucking problem.
But that's what a lot of people are talking about with the bear too, is that like the kind of glorification of like the really serious like dining is that still relevant, you know? And I'm like, I think it's very relevant to people who work in the business.
Yeah.
Because it's like real. It's like that's who they've looked up to their whole lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For most people, they're not going to go to the French Laundry. But like, I think it's still aspirational in some ways.
It's for the true heads. It's the same people who are like, I don't want to go to see Dave Chappelle at MSG or you know his Chris Rock's hour on HBO. I want to be at the Comedy Store watching that, 18 months beforehand, working out all the bits. I want to see the process. I want to see big swings, some failures, but to see the inception point. And then on the bear, they're like, we're going to change the menu every day.
Yeah.
And then, but there's some people out there who are like, I have an infinite amount of money. I love food so much, and I want to go to this restaurant twice a week, and I want everything to be different. There's still enough people,
yeah, for sure,
for small places like that to exist, but I don't know if there's an infinite runway for that.
There's not. No,
I think
there's
it's
definitely
going
not.
the way of the dodo.
But I also think that like that will
dodo with fermented cranberries.
Yeah, it'll exist forever because there will always be people. It's like
I don't know.
Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will.
It'll be like at this point, it's sort of like a patron of the arts kind of thing. Like we know, like it'll have to switch outside of the traditional business model where there'll be like a timeshare where like 100 people pay this much money and this chef just has like a grant or something like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I think it's going to be like when they ban cars with gas, there's still going to be plenty of cars with gas on the road. Like it ain't really going to work. It doesn't really, like, no matter how out of favor something goes, I think there's always going to be people to. I mean, I've been to 4 restaurants like this in the last year, and they were fucking packed.
That's true.
And it's expensive. I mean, the price is astronomical. You know me. I mean, I'm like, this food is good, but it's really about.
It's astronomical, but no one's making any money off of it because of the margins. We've all seen the
restaurants never make money. I mean, that's the
Not
problem.
always.
I mean, Houston's makes money. This little cool guy restaurant with fucking tweezers and natural wine don't make money.
Yeah, I
make enough to stay open.
I'm curious to see how much money, because I know there's like a lot of like Michelin chefs or restaurant owners where like we made $17 million last year and we spent $16.9
yeah. There's million
dollars
for sure.
Because we have 50 tables and 50 employees.
But I think going to places like that is part of it is the last place to get good service. You cannot get good service basically in any other setting. Like that level of good service, you're not going to get anywhere. Restaurant, hotel, bar, fucking airport, nowhere.
And that's also an experience that we're never going to be able to. We'll always have to be brick and mortar.
Yeah,
at least with our current human brains.
When people say to me, "Well, I could make that at home," I'm always like, "Well, I can't, so I'm going to go to the restaurant." Mm-hmm. Those kind of restaurants, you can't make it at home.
That is true.
And that.
Well,
that
you can, but that's your full-time job.
Yeah,
you're not able to make any other money.
You're able. But you left the kids at daycare, but you are able to make the dish.
Well, I was listening to Tim Dillon, his podcast earlier today, and he was talking about this same experience. He went to Tiffany on Rodeo and was trying to buy his his house property management person. Mm-hmm. A gift, like a handbag, and he was like, it's a $2,500 Tiffany handbag on Rodeo. Can you please ship this to her in New York or wherever she lives? And he was talking about how the process was so awful, and how the guy just like threw him an iPad and said, fill it out, kind of thing. And he's like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not gonna I'm out. And he was talking about how obviously everybody just shops online now because it's easier and the brick and mortar experience is getting worse and worse.
Yeah, you're gonna do the same amount of work.
Retail employees are awful, and it's not worth it to have the luxury of being able to try clothes on before you buy them. You're just like, it's not worth it anymore. And then Edible was kicking in, and I was like, do you think that these businesses are trying to Joe Biden themselves, like the Democratic Party? Are they trying to make the retail experience so awful that we won't put up a stink when brick and mortar retail doesn't exist anymore, and everything switches to online?
I think like something like Tiffany they need stores like Tiffany and Cartier because it's like a thing to go there, like to a Rodeo Drive store or like a Fifth Avenue store.
I'll never forget the first time I went to Cartier.
Exactly.
Would you like a glass of bubbles?
But I mean, I think that if you do it often, then you're like, why would I ever do this again? I think for some people it's still special depending on what you're buying. Mm-hmm. But you can't.
But those people are a dying breed, and the older you get, the more impatient you are with bad service.
Yeah,
like if you're a 19-year-old and you like go to buy a Dior bag on Rodeo and your user journey is not impeccable, you're like, I don't fucking care. Give me the bag. If I'm 78 years old and I'm about to drop a bag, like get on your knees and start servicing me.
But I also think that it's going to be like anything else. The way people fucking buy vinyl and tapes, like. It's bigger than it ever has been. I think it could be like that, where like a younger generation is like, wow, we can go in. This is so cool. You know what I mean? We can go in the store. It's a place to make content. It's like a different.
So the service itself becomes a vintage throwback, not the product. Maybe.
Yeah. The product is modern, but the idea of going.
We're not even selling anything. We're just gonna give you like a virtual shopkeep tour of what it may have been like. Maybe that's why Renaissance fairs and Disneylands and theme parks are so popular, because they're like, it's people who want to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are dumb.
Yeah, you sent me to go back to Bourdain. I forgot you sent me that article about the meme-ification of him. Mm-hmm. Did you read that article? I haven't had a chance to.
I read some of it. Yeah, it's just basically like
we've been seeing a lot of Anthony Bourdain memes pop up where it'll be a picture, like a black and white photo of him, like having a cig and drinking a beer in Hanoi or something like that, and then it'll say something in the voice of Bourdain, like, go hiking, get lost, be a traveler, not a tourist, drink that beer at 5 p.m., get that hot dog at the bowling alley, that kind of vibe, and then they'll change it up with funny or different things. Is that the meme they're talking about?
There's several.
Okay.
I've never seen any of these. No kidding. I don't think I've seen Anthony Bourdain meme except on the good account.
Yes.
But like, I don't think I've ever seen one. So that's why I saw that and I was like, oh, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen this. And we were just talking about him yesterday.
What was it saying about the memes?
Just that it's kind of like
it's happening.
This is what happens to you. Like, this is just what's going to happen to everyone, kind of.
Right.
Like, if this is, you know what I mean? Like, whatever you thought you were, if you were.
We used to put you on a t-shirt and now we meme you.
Yeah. But it's also like you kind of get made fun of a little bit. Like, memes it's not like a full like celebration. It's a celebration with a little bit of like wink wink.
We no longer respect the dead the way we used to. We no longer care about speaking ill of the dead.
Oh, definitely not.
Which I guess there's some healthy behavior to that, but it can be abused and turned over quickly.
I'll speak ill about anyone. I don't give a shit.
So nowadays in 2024, once you pass, then your personality and your actions become public domain, and we're able to freely talk about you, good and bad.
Yeah.
And that's just, if you can't handle it, you're a bitch, is the kind of
Oh, luckily you're dead, so it don't matter.
Well, not the dead person specifically, but
his loved ones.
His loved ones.
Or
her. Tony Stans.
There's a lot of those.
Whatever the name of his
hive is.
Boardies. Boardies. Yeah, his hive. His navy.
The Bourdain Navy has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, because there's the Army, there's Navy, there's no Marines.
No one's running this like the Coast Guard.
the Coast Guard. But then you have to get a word. Like, what are some Bourdain words? Heroin, jujitsu, Vietnam.
Heroin, jujitsu.
That's my version of the 6'5", blue eyes.
Yeah.
Fine. Heroin, 6'5", heroin, jujitsu.
I gotta be honest. I wonder if he really did heroin.
He had to have.
Did he?
You think he's claiming?
I think he might have snorted it a few times.
Like he fabricated his dope kicking to add a little.
I just think that if you really are on dope, you can't like really. I mean, it's just crazy to me to be like, oh, I'm just an alcoholic now. I'm fine.
Oh yeah,
like that's
okay.
I know that happens, of course, but like if you really get clean, usually you're taught that you kind of should stay away from all of it.
Don't worry, guys. I'm good. I'm sober. All I do is mainline cigarettes and alcohol every day.
Say, it's like, oh, I just drink now. Oh, beer only. It's like that kind of thing.
Of course, smoke a little joint at the end of the night to go to sleep.
Where I feel like he went like, oh, I stopped the hard stuff, and that's a cool part of my legacy, but I'll still smoke weed and drink with these people because like I need to do this.
Yeah, and then everyone around him was like, sounds good to us, Tony.
Yeah,
Can I come to Antarctica with you?
Yeah, I was watching that Boston episode and he's just wasted. Like they're just drunk as fuck at like some gnarly bars doing shots of whiskey. You know, that's like
yeah, because then they're like tomorrow we have the hash, the food, not the drug. Yeah. We have to go to a stinky diner that's blue collar tomorrow, so I need to be actually hungover.
Yeah, and I have to be for me to eat an omelet the size of Jason's leg that's stuffed with beef. I have to be hungover.
For breakfast, Bloody Mary. Oh yes, that'll do. I don't know what I'm doing. There will be blood voice now.
It's fine. I think it feels close enough.
I'm a vodka man. Okay. What time is it? We're almost there. So after this, we're gonna go get our hair cut, aren't we?
Are you getting one?
I'm not gonna get a haircut because I'm not gonna cheat on my barber. What Kevin and I have is too strong for me to fuck anything up on the road for a little piece of pussy I'm not even going to remember in 10 days.
I completely understand.
But what I am considering doing is getting a little bit of a beard trim, but I don't want another man to trim my beard because the chances of them doing it incorrectly are too high, which may be a feeling that you can agree with your hair. So I want to be like, if I give you $20, can you let me borrow the clippers?
Do not do that. Do not do that until after I've gotten my haircut.
Of course.
I think I've gotten haircuts truly all over the world and beard trim, literally anywhere I am.
Okay, ludicrous.
No one's ever fucked it up that bad. Like it's different,
yeah.
but a beard trim is also like, if you tell them no line, you know, if you say like natural no line,
yeah.
That's the universal language for like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I've had some.
No, I'm glad that we had this convo
because I understand, but like I've had to let go and let God.
But then also, what if you're a barber and you're sitting there and you've got your clippers just sitting there collecting dust, and I'll be like, yo, I'd like to rent those for 7.5 minutes.
I think it's a sign of disrespect to be like,
it's a massive sign of
I can do this better than you, and I just don't have my tools.
But what if I'm right?
Doesn't matter. You're a dick.
It's like Larry David bringing his eggs to the restaurant.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's some dickhead shit. I mean,
nobody likes it.
Which is, I'm not. Yeah, I just don't. I've never had experience where I was like, I can't believe it. Haircut, but like with a hair like yours, it could happen. With a beard, it's not going to happen unless they give you the fucking Puerto Rican lineup. Which there's ways to say no to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You say no, papi, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take all of this into consideration. That sounds good.
Do you not have your trimmer?
I did not bring my trimmer. I had it with me at the first leg of this travel, and then when I went back home, I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't care anymore. Because after we have our last show tomorrow, but it's an important one, and it's a big one, and I want it to do well. But then after that, I'm going to be, poolside in Mallorca where I want my facial hair to grow out. It'll give me, once I have a little tan and the facial hair, I'm going to start looking like Eben.
You're trying to look like, what are you, Mick Jagger in Marrakesh? Like, who do you think you are?
I'm trying to Eben out. That's all.
trying to Evan out.
When I talked to Eben at the carpet, he said that he actually goes to the island of Hydra as well. And
That's so crazy. People go to the island of Hydra?
Yeah, sometimes rich, hot people go to this place, Greece.
I've read about
summer.
it in a Travel and Leisure magazine.
Yeah, I learned about it in a Blur song when I was a kid on Girls and Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Following the herd down to Greece. And I was like, I didn't know there was a herd.
Wait, I can join the herd?
Like a donkey?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, if people are herding there, it must be something.
Yeah, it is something.
But
some place I never need to go again.
Yeah, I was reading this quick newsletter from Ruth Reichel, actual food critic, and she was talking about how, the older she gets and the longer she's been doing this, people complain about like remote islands and small towns in Italy and, getting blown out eventually over the years. And she's kind of saying like, bro, this is nothing new. Like I wrote about this in the 90s and the 80s. And
this
like
is what
people
happened.
have been
Cycle of life.
But it's been so like the exponential compound destruction of these cool places because of the internet has happened so fast. Where before I was just imagining what it would be like in the 80s, where you go to Hydra in Greece and you take 2 rolls of film and you get them developed onto projector slides, and then you invite your 8 friends over to your house and have Greek style dinner, and you try pita bread for the first time, and then you show the photos of your trip, and everyone's like, that is awesome, that's so cool, and then that's it. And then your neighbors and friends like, maybe we should go there next year, that would be cool.
It's a word of mouth.
And now, because of Instagram and TikTok, it just spreads, and it should take 20 years for Hydra to be destroyed, and it'll take 2 for it to be destroyed. And I'm to blame for that as well.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to these places. Not because they're bad, but they are, but because it's just, if you like it and then you keep going back, it's going to continually get worse and worse. And it's you know what I mean?
But if you like it and you keep going back, but you never tell anyone that you're there, you never make people feel jealous for not being there.
That's not how it works anymore.
I know. But
I said to you yesterday, I've never seen more people that I know at a beach somewhere in Europe right now than maybe ever in my life.
And people have tried to control it, like a Soho House or a San Vicente or whatever. But as long, if there's an island that puts a sticker on your phone as soon as you get off the boat, then maybe.
No, there's no.
But then everyone will want to go to the island
even more.
There, you're not allowed. It's the Frog Club.
Yeah.
Welcome to my Frog Club.
You know what? I'm going to put a ban on Frog Club.
Like of me talking about it?
We're never talking about Frog Club again. I want it to die. I don't ever want to hear
you
about it again.
His last ribbit?
It's done. It's last gasping ribbit.
You want it to croak.
I want it to croak. It's just so stupid that I cannot even hear the word.
Okay. Done. Your mouth to my ears.
I know you're ready to move on too. I think you just need a little push.
Yeah, I didn't know I needed the push.
I noticed quickly before we go that I went to Barry's Boot Camp Minneapolis this morning.
Okay.
And Minneapolis has a thing that reminds me of Atlanta. All the chicks are yadded up.
Oh, really?
Heavily tattooed.
The Barry's chick specifically?
Just everywhere I went. There's no one. Even the women next to us at dinner last night, tatted up. Waitresses, tatted up.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people actually walking around. The only tat they have is on the hand.
Yeah.
Type people.
That's some Midwest shit.
Or like I'm a librarian and I have a knitting club and I have a tattoo of like a hibiscus flower on
they're
my
breaking
hand,
rules.
and that's the only one I have.
It was an interesting thing to know. I was like, what? Oh, they're all tatted. I'm talking like sleeves, like real tats.
Was it some fella Hadid's in there though?
No, it's like, you could tell that like Botox and fillers have made it to Minnesota, but nothing too crazy. Everybody's very nice.
Okay. Did the Twin Cities bring it at Barry's?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, yeah. People were getting it in.
Did you go smoothie?
I did.
What flavor? Wolverine.
Simple peanut butter. That's what it's called. Simply PB is what it's called.
It's just water and peanut butter.
I actually don't know
so
what's in
good.
it. I don't know what's in it. That would be good, though.
800 calories.
Water and peanut butter. All right. Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you guys. And thank you to everyone who's given me food recommendations in all of your fair cities. Our last show of the tour is tonight, Monday, July 1st, here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota, St. Paul, at the Turf Club. We're very excited to, it's going to be one of those things. We're going to bring out the podcast equivalent of Michael J. Fox on guitar, whatever that may be. Prairie Home Companion on a banjo.
Yeah. How long
It'll
gone?
be Andrew Zimmern eating bull testicles on stage in some Jordans. HowLongGone.com is the website, and as you know from the last episode, we are going to take a week off. We're going dark on holiday.
You're lucky I don't know how to upload.
Yeah, otherwise Chris will be doing sleeper cell solo pods. What else is in the news?
I'll put up my 2 plasmas with the news, just reading.
I got this gardener. He's got his leaf blower 5 in the fucking. I says to him, okay. Thank you guys for listening. We love you, and we will see you guys in July.
Later.